Are you being scammed by pay-per lead companies that are charging you $150 to $250 per lead when they buy those leads for $35, $25 a lead, and they sell them to you for 10 times the price? That is a question that I want you to ponder. Now, in the real estate investing niche, in the wholesaling niche, we know that the name of the game is getting motivated sellers. If you don't have motivated sellers, then you're not going to make any money. And right now, the hottest lead source right now is online marketing, because a lot of the other lead sources that people were accustomed to are difficult. Text messaging has pretty much gone away. Direct mail is expensive, and cold calling is cumbersome, meaning that you have to hire a ton of cold callers. You got to get a lot of data, and if you're doing it yourself, especially if as a beginner, if you're sitting on the phones cold calling, it's a difficult thing to do. And so then the thing becomes, hey, how can I get warm incoming leads? And you want to do online marketing. The problem is you don't know how to do online marketing, and you may not want to hire an agency. So now there are companies that will generate leads. They go out and they have campaigns running out there all across the country, and they're going to go ahead and produce these leads, and then they're going to sell you these leads. By the way, if you are interested in learning how to generate motivated sellers online without an agency and without having to pay expensive lead costs, then make sure you click the link in the description. And the way that this system works, and I know this for a fact because internally, I don't sell leads, but internally, I have the same software that they use. And we have that internally because of our lead rotation internally within our organization. But the way that these companies work is that they will run campaigns all across the country, and then they'll generate these leads, and they're going to get leads at a very, very inexpensive cost. And I'm going to tell you what that cost is, because those are the same campaigns I run. And they'll get these leads inexpensively, and then what will happen is that the software has a bidding system that allows someone to raise their hand and say, hey, I want to buy your leads. And then they can pick counties, and they can pick geographic regions. And then now the geographic regions have different pricing, because there's going to be a higher demand for, say, a lead in Los Angeles, California, or a lead in Miami-Dade County or Broward County. And then now they're going to bid that price up. So generally speaking, what ends up happening is that if you want a really coveted county, you're going to spend somewhere around $150 to $250 per lead. And if you want nationwide, or if you're willing to just say, hey, just give me anything you have, then typically what you're going to do is you're going to get the leftover leads, the leads that are left over from all these campaigns that nobody else wants. So a lot of times with those nationwide leads that nobody else wants, then the problem is that they're kind of all over the place. They're rural. They're not the best properties. Now, different companies run different models. Some of them are exclusive, meaning that they'll sell you the lead. They won't sell it to anybody else. Other ones run a marketplace where they'll sell you the lead. You have exclusivity, but then after, a certain number of days, then other people can buy the lead. Now, in general, no lead is exclusive. And the reason for that is that these sellers are going, in the past, it used to be that you would go to Google and you would search on Google and you would say, search sell my house fast. And then you would just close up your computer and go on about your life. But if you think about it, a seller nowadays will go on the computer, search on Google, sell my house fast, and then they'll go on Facebook, and they'll go on TikTok, and those platforms have their pixel on the landing pages of all these people that advertise on Google. So all of a sudden now those people know that, hey, this individual is interested in selling their property at a discount, and then now they're gonna go ahead and identify that user, and that means that then now you can go and advertise on those platforms and get the same seller. So what ends up happening is that there's really no exclusivity within any of these leads. So keep that in mind. We run campaigns ourselves for our clients, our partners, and for our team internally. And we run campaigns nationwide. We run them across various states. And our cost per lead generally is about, if we run a nationwide campaign, we can get cost per lead in the $15 range. If we run campaigns across states, we can get typically somewhere around, let's say, $30 a lead. So the same lead that you're going and you're paying $250 for, I can pick up that lead for $35. Now, is the pay-per-lead company scamming you? They're not scamming you. It's a marketplace, right? They're arbitrage. The same thing that, what they're doing is they're wholesaling leads. If you think about it, the same way that you find a motivated seller and you put on a contract and now you sell it to somebody else and you're arbitraging that, they're doing the same thing. And you're the guy in the middle now. Instead of like you're typically dealing with the sellers, now you're the seller in that scenario, right? Because what they're doing is they're getting the lead and then they're buying it and then arbitraging it to you for a cost. And some of these providers have they have somebody else producing the lead that then gets sold to them and then they sell it to you. And I know that because I know some of the guys that are running lead generation campaigns for these pay-per-lead providers. But they're not a scam. They provide a valuable service. The problem is that it's great for tasting these leads, but it's not a good idea long term for you. And that is because if you wanted to explore online lead generation and you didn't want to make the commitment to either learn it or go with an agency, then it's a great way to get a taste of these leads. And you could go and buy some of these leads, understand how to work those leads. You may have some initial results with those leads. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, this is much better than cold calling. I like this better. So if that's the case, you don't want to stay there, because then you're going to be overpaying every time you get a lead from them. You need to transition into one or two things. Number one is you could hire an agency that would do the lead, that would run the ads for you. And if you don't want to do it yourself, the problem with that sometimes is you got to make sure you pick the right agency. There's different agencies, different ones do Facebook. Some of them do Google, and different requirements for all of them. But let's go under the assumption that, hey, you're good with getting Facebook and TikTok leads, and those are great leads because right now, again, like all the leads we have, all the deals we have pending right now are all Facebook and TikTok. Maybe one of them is Google. And those same prospects that go on Google, they just go on Facebook. So if you pay a bunch of money on Google, I'll get the same lead on Facebook, but for a much lesser price. But the challenge is that you don't want to stay buying leads from pay-per-lead companies. You want to try and create your own lead generation so that you control. Because then now what you can do is you can pay for those leads $25, $35. And now imagine what that does to your business. Because now, number one is you don't have the pressure of, oh my God, I'm paying $200 a lead and I got to do a deal within these first 10 leads because otherwise I'm going to run out of money. If you buy 10 leads at $200, that's $2,000. If you're buying leads at $30, I'm using my phone so I can't calculate, but you could buy a heck of a lot more leads at $35 a lead and spend the $2,000, and you'll close deals 100% because we're doing that. The other thing is that if you're brand new in the business, you need to practice. You need to talk to as many humans as you can possible. And so the lower the cost per lead, the better it is for you, because it gives you flexibility. If you're dealing with $200 leads and you're not that great, you're going to fumble your way to success, but it's going to cost you a lot of money versus if you're dealing with $30 leads again. And so my recommendation for you would be that you may use pay-per-lead companies as a taste, just to see if they might be what you're looking for. But very quickly, you have to transition into being the master of your own domain and figuring out how to generate your own leads. Now, we help clients. If you're interested, we can help you with learning how to do this. And a lot of people don't want to learn how to do it. And I don't know why. I got to tell you. And there's resistance around it. And you have to think about the fact that anything, now, is it difficult? I don't think it's difficult. Is it challenging? It could be challenging if you're not used to doing that sort of thing. If you're not tech savvy, or rather tech apprehensive. Most of you can get it done, but you just don't want to do it. And maybe you just rather continue to pay $200 leads. And I'll continue to pay $30 for the same leads you pay $200 for. Maybe I should sell you my $30 leads for $150. Maybe that's a good business. All I want to do is they say, listen, you got to be the master of your own domain. You got to generate your own leads, and you got to figure out a way to do it. Otherwise, you're overspending, and in the end, it's not going to be the best position for you.